I think many people imagine that choosing themselves will feel freeing. That once they finally say no, set boundaries, take the rest, or make the decision that is right for them, they will immediately feel relieved. And sometimes they do. But sometimes something else happens first: guilt, discomfort, doubt. You make a decision that you know you need to make, and then almost immediately you begin questioning yourself. Was I too harsh? Was I being selfish? Should I have explained more? Or maybe I should change my mind. Maybe I should just do what they want. And suddenly, choosing yourself doesn't feel empowering. It feels uncomfortable. I think this is especially true for people who are used to putting others first: the dependable ones, the caregivers, the peacemakers, the people who have spent years becoming easy to rely on. When you're used to being available, saying no can feel wrong. When you're used to keeping peace, speaking honestly can feel unkind. When you're used to carrying more than your share, putting something down can feel irresponsible. And it's not because it is, but because it is unfamiliar. And sometimes unfamiliarity feels like guilt. That is what I want us to reflect on today. Why does choosing yourself feel so uncomfortable, even when you know it may be necessary? Perhaps part of the answer to that is many of us learned very early that being good meant being accommodating, being helpful, being easygoing, being willing to sacrifice. We learned to pay attention to what everyone else needed. We learned to avoid disappointing people. We learned to keep giving even when something within us is becoming tired. And after doing that for a long time, choosing yourself can begin to feel like you're doing something wrong. Even when all you are doing is finally including yourself in the care you give so freely to others. I don't think guilt always means we have made the wrong decision. Sometimes guilt appears because we have crossed one of our values. Perhaps we have hurt someone unnecessarily. Perhaps we have acted unfairly. That kind of guilt can guide us. It can help us reflect, repair, and make a better decision. But there's another kind of guilt: the guilt that appears simply because we have done something differently. You say no, and someone is disappointed. You take time for yourself, and someone has to adjust. You stop over explaining, and someone calls you distant. You set a boundary, and someone who benefited from your lack of boundaries becomes uncomfortable. And because they're uncomfortable, you begin to believe you must have done something wrong. But another person's discomfort is not always evidence of wrongdoing. Sometimes it is simply an evidence that the pattern has changed. People become accustomed to the roles we play: the one who always says yes, the one who fixes everything, the one who never complains, the one who gives one more chance, the one who makes life easier for everyone around them. And when you begin choosing differently, the people around you may need time to adjust. Some will understand, some may not, but their reaction does not automatically determine whether your choice was right. I think one of the hardest lessons is learning that you can disappoint someone without betraying them. You can love someone and still say no. You can care about someone and still choose rest. You can understand their feelings without changing your decision. You can be compassionate without abandoning yourself. These things can coexist together. But many of us were never taught that. We were taught that love means always being available, that kindness means never upsetting anyone, that being a good person means constantly placing ourselves last. And so when you begin choosing yourself, it can feel as though you're becoming someone cold, selfish, uncaring. But perhaps we're not becoming less caring. Perhaps we're simply becoming more honest about what caring is costing us. There's a difference between selfishness and self respect. Selfishness was saying, only my needs matter. Self respect says, my needs matter too. Selfishness ignores the impact of our choices. Self respect considers the impact without erasing ourselves from the decision. That difference matters. Because choosing yourself does not mean that you stop considering other people. It means you stop treating yourself as the person who must always sacrifice. I think the most difficult part of choosing yourself is often not the decision itself. It is what happens afterwards. The silence after you say no, the look on someone's face, the message you don't receive, the worry that they may think differently of you. That is when many people return to old habits, old patterns. They change their minds. They apologize for having a need. They explain and explain until the boundary no longer feels like a boundary. And it's not because the choice was wrong, but because the discomfort became too difficult to tolerate. And perhaps this is the part we need to practice. Not only choosing ourselves, but remaining beside ourselves after we've made that choice. Allowing the guilt to rise without immediately obeying the guilt. Allowing someone to be disappointed without rushing to remove the disappointment. Allowing ourselves to feel uncomfortable without assuming that that discomfort means danger. Because sometimes guilt is not proof that you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's just simply the discomfort of doing something differently. If you've spent years abandoning yourself to keep everyone else comfortable, choosing yourself may not feel peaceful at first. It may feel unfamiliar. It may feel awkward. It may even feel lonely. But unfamiliar does not mean wrong. New boundaries may feel uncomfortable before they feel natural to you. Rest may feel undeserved before it feels necessary. Saying no may feel selfish before it begins to feel honest. And trusting yourself may feel frightening before it feels freeing. That does not mean you should ignore the impact of your choices. It means you should examine them honestly. Ask yourself, am I being unkind or am I being clear? Am I refusing to care or am I recognizing my limits? Am I hurting someone intentionally or are they disappointed because I can no longer give what they expect? Those questions can help you separate true guilt from the discomfort of growth. So perhaps the invitation this week is not to make a dramatic change. Perhaps it is simply to notice what happens within you when you choose yourself. Notice the urge to over explain, the urge to apologize, the urge to reverse your decision simply because someone else is unhappy. And in that moment, pause. Remind yourself, I am allowed to consider my own needs. I am allowed to make a choice someone else may not prefer. I am allowed to care for others without constantly leaving myself behind. Choosing yourself will not always be comfortable, but comfort is not always the sign that we are making the right choice. Sometimes comfort is simply the old pattern asking us to return to it. And sometimes growth feels uncomfortable because we are finally becoming someone we have never allowed ourselves to be. Someone who listens to herself, someone who respects her limit, someone who no longer believes that love must always require self abandonment. You can be kind and still choose yourself. You can be loving and still have boundaries. You can care deeply and still say no. And perhaps with time, choosing yourself will no longer feel like guilt. It will begin to feel like coming home. Thank you for spending some time with me today. And until next time, be kind to yourself. Happy Sunday.